Okay, thank you very much, Bang Suni. Yeah, it is a very valuable occasion, I think, for me. Thank you very much for the occasion given. Okay, before we start the discussion, I think it is nice to see you. It is nice to know each other by introducing ourselves. I think before we start the discussion, I need to introduce myself. My name is Indra Saputra. Actually, I'm from Yogyakarta, but right now I'm staying in Padang, West Sumatra. Because I get a job here and I should stay here, and that's why I don't stay in Yogyakarta anymore. Okay, before we start the discussion, maybe I need to share my screen. Is that okay, Mr. Suni? Okay. Everyone, could you see my screen on your screen, maybe? Is that clear? Okay, maybe I need to slideshow so you can see my screen clearly. Okay. Okay. In this evening, we are gonna discuss about beyond the numbers of exploring suicide myths and facts. It is not a global issue, but it is always occurs in everyday life, as like in our social environment. Sometimes we see the case that might be our neighbor, our relation, our family, or like that doing suicide without we know what is the real reason about that. Yeah, maybe it is time to discuss more and you can understand deeper about it. What is the reason, the justification, and what is the motivation about someone who are doing suicide? Uh, because this forum is a discussion forum, it's not all the material will be conveyed by me, but we will do a discussion. I hope that all of you can give your perception, give your point of view, give your idea about our topic tonight in this evening. And I hope it can be the first time it can be increase our English skill, and the second time maybe we can find the solution about this case that always increase exactly in my country, in our country. Sorry. Okay, this is the first slide. If you see about that information, what do you think about that? Anyone here who wants to give your idea about this data maybe? This data maybe? What do you think about this data or this fact that occurs in our social environment? Miss Ayu maybe? Could you give your opinion about this data maybe, Miss Ayu?
Right. Okay. Actually, I'm still reading it, but I've got the vision of what to say about this. But it's actually really sad because in this data we can see that 663 cases examined from January to June. I think we have well, I suppose that currently a lot of young generation listening. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think
Hello?
a little bit clear. Yeah, I can get the point.
Okay.
The one word that I
Okay.
underlined
So
that is sad. That is your explanation about this
yeah.
data. And the second one is not only occur in the old generation, but but also in young generation. That's really sad, I think. Thank you very much for your perception, your point of view about that. And maybe Miss Sophie Anand, could you give your opinion about this data, maybe?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of suicidal case in our country specifically, but I don't know that the data it's showing the number that is really high, like what you already shown right now in the slide. All I think about is it this is the data that only for some cities, right? Not in all over Indonesia,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So imagine that if we collect all the data from every city, every provinces, like how high the number would be. That's just so crazy. I think, and also what makes me interested about joining this discussion because this kind of topic should be discussed. It's not a simply um, problem. We should really aware about this. So I'm really excited to hear to see the next slide and hearing everyone perspective about it. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, Miss Sophie. That's true that sometimes when we want to talk about suicide, it becomes a sensitive discussion, I think, for someone. But I think we should talk about it. We should discuss about it because maybe we need a solution to take the action about it as our response in our environment, social environment, exactly. Okay, is there someone? There's someone raise hand over here. House, what's your name? Bang Suni. Okay, what's your opinion, Bang Suni?
Yeah. I think if we take a look right here, yeah, it happened. I mean, like the most cases happening in Central Java. What's happening in Central Java? And what's more interesting is that Yogyakarta is the most strategic place for education, but so problematic in this case means that um, the most tolerant cities in Indonesia back then, if I'm not mistaken, was being labeled to Depok. but again, but again, in Depok, okay, yeah, of course, I heard some suicide cases like in UI, yeah, okay, but some murders cases as well. But again, from this survey that has been done via this link, News Republica, I can see that the tempo of life, the pace of living in Jogja is kind of not really or highly competitive compared to Jakarta or like other bigger cities in Indonesia, right? But this is like kind of surprising. Yeah, this is where the moment something that uh, air tenang menghanyutkan. I don't know how to say it in English. Yeah, I mean like sometimes like slow waves of life can swallow you if you couldn't find someone that you can invite soon together. Okay, you either like being drowned, okay, without having no one, having someone to advance become our listener. So probably Central Java is become the massive supporters of PDI. Is there some connection with Ganjar with Ganjar leadership that makes or that cause Central Java become the most populated cases of suicide? Okay, so this is the first two ideas that pops in my mind after seeing this slide. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Suni. Yeah, it is interesting if we want to analyze about what is the correlation about the suicide case and maybe we correlate it with political issue like that and maybe the lifestyle like in Jakarta. We know someone who always whoever stay in Jakarta, they always say Jakarta is really what's that ideal life over there. And but behind that there is what's that sad data that describe about the high number of suicide case over there. Yeah, maybe we should talk about it in deeper more. Yeah. Okay, we move on to the next slides. Okay, Ayu Puspita, do you want to give your point of view, please?
Yeah, actually talking about, I want to share some, I think, experience of dealing with people with suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts. And um, she's from Jogja. She's
Yeah.
one of my best friend. And well, as you said in the data, is Jogja is one of the provinces with the highest suicide rates in Indonesia. And she's in college in Jogja, and one of the reasons in why she takes life so hard that she wants to kill herself is because the I'm not saying the education system, but the people who's in the education system in the college are are the reason that behind all of the suicide attempts. And I think maybe this is one of the things that we would know because it's underground and not a lot of people wants to speak about it because they take it as a culture and something that happened a long time ago and it should be normalized. And I don't think that we should normalize this because back in the days, people won't be so aware of mental health. And my friend is actually aware of it, and what they did to my friend is actually kind of sad. Maybe you guys have heard how engineering people, like engineering students in college, how they penggodokan and everything, and that's where it all started, where she begins say, to have a anxiety attack and panic attack, and she have she had to go to psychiatrist and take medicine to treat her apa sih ini? Her mind, like the loud mind that makes her wants to kill herself. And that's one of the things that actually said because the place that we should learn and actually to grab something good from it. And the more sad is what's more sad is that we paid to enter the university and the college, and we 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 received that kind of treatment. So yes, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Ayu. Okay, that's interesting. Talking about the education system. Actually, the problem is not about education system, but maybe someone who are inside in education system, like Miss Ayu said, like that. And the second one is talking about engineering student because I was engineering student and in one of college in Jakarta also. Yeah, we know some circumstance has different pressure for the students, and maybe something like that always praise the student to what's that getting stressed maybe. Okay, Miss Ekalita, do you want to give your point of view, please?
Yeah, because maybe apa is it possible like a January to June 2023 increase into 2021? Is it any relevant to the COVID and after COVID?
Okay.
Because the year is so close, and then in the Central Java maybe in that area they have like some competitive or under pressure condition, yeah, that make people desperate or feel like they cannot solve their problem. I see that that it's like that because the motivation the person is giving suicide is mostly is like because of debt, economic, and love, and then mental health. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ekalita. There is a good point of view, like we analyze what is the factor influence suicide case in this situation like that. It's like
There
in Central Java, maybe after COVID-19 disease like that. The
yeah,
life is so hard. There are a lot of pressure. It's not
yeah,
only in economic side, yeah, like that, Miss Miss
right.
Ekalika.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I want to deliver. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, maybe it is nice to move on to the next slide, yeah, guys. Okay. There is a statement that talk about people who talk about suicide won't actually do it. Maybe I need to call our participant, Mr. Hamis or Miss Hamis. Could you give your opinion about it? Mr. Hamis, are you with us? Okay, let's move. Mr. Muhammad Wildan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what do you think? What is your point of view about it? What is your point of view about this statement?
People who talk about suicide will not actually do it. Okay. My point of view about this statement. Wait, I want to understand first the question.
Okay,
Okay.
just a minute, just slowly.
Yes. Yeah. It's a fact for me, for my point of view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on
In my
your point of view.
yeah, in my point of view, the statement, if someone or people share their problem, they uh they will. I mean, they cannot. What is the statement? Uh-huh. They will not be suicide.
Okay.
Okay, because when someone decide to suicide, in my point of view, she or he do not have a place which can share their problem.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And if someone have their place, I mean their friends or maybe um family, they will not do suicide, and it's a fact for me.
That is a fact based on your point of view, Miss.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. The sentence that I underline about your point of view, that is, people will decide to do suicide when they have no place or someone to share about their problem. That is
Yes.
the main issue for me, Okay, maybe Miss Sophie Anand, do you want to support Mr. Wildan point of view, or maybe you have another point of view about it?
Yeah, for this slide, I think I'm gonna go with a fact because I think I'm not gonna generalize all people, but I do believe that many people actually have some point in their life that they're actually want to die and they ended up not doing it. But it doesn't mean that it's a myth. When you have a suicidal thought and you're not ended up doing it, maybe they're just like their fear of getting hurt while the process of die is bigger than the die itself, so they're ended up not doing it. But that doesn't mean they're not suffering or less suffering than the people who doing it. And the second that I would like to tell is maybe we can a little bit back remember back in 2000 there are a lot of sad songs. Like the music industry produce a lot of romantic sad song, and they're hyperbolic about the lyrics, and all people suicide about it. Like people do suicide, people killing themselves just by listening song. So we can see how serious of this problem. We can see that you don't have to have like I don't know, I can measure like which one is like the worst problem ever for someone, because we have our own bear for we have our own standard for what we think it works, what we think is easy. Sometimes that when the problem look easy for some group of people, it's the end of the life for other groups, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we cannot really like making fun or joke about the feelings, because see, just because you listen a song and you digging deep into your feelings, your depression, and you can end it up doing it. And also I think it's kind of like I don't want to say it is a trend, but I think it's one of like the phenomenon that always happening in every several years, like when all people or many people in all over the world doing it, so other people in particular places got triggered or got affected by the thoughts of doing it, that doing doing that too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for my grammar.
It's
So
okay.
I think
That's good.
yeah, I think so. I completely think that's not a myth at all, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Sophie. It is interesting when we are talking about Miss Ayu's statement. Sorry, Miss Sophie's statement. Like in 2000, there are a lot of song that has sad lyrics, maybe influence someone to do suicide. Yeah, maybe that is looks like simple, but sometimes we cannot understand about the deep meaning about that song. Maybe will affect someone to do suicide. Yeah, that's interesting statement, I think. Okay, Mr. Suni, maybe you want to give the supporting statement maybe about that, or you probably disagree about it.
Okay. Me, I think that people will talk about suicide. I completely see this statement from a different angle. I was like seeing that somebody who decided to talk about suicide is somebody who ever like in a very thin line almost doing that. Okay. He can be a victim, victimized, someone bullied, or someone with overwhelming sensations or emotions that he himself cannot suppress, and he almost like about to end his life or their life, but not to do so. So he wants to spread such narratives to all people to trigger the awareness about suicide, so that there will be less people who got triggered or who got like incentivized to do the similar things that must done by him. Yeah, I think the level of desperate is almost the same if we talk to like how come somebody uh, that about to suicide but decides not to do that, and someone who suicide and finally can finish his life. I believe that the level is a bit somehow. I disagree. I quite disagree with what has been stated by Miss Sophie before, because the level of suffering must be completely different. Okay, for somebody that didn't continue to end his life or to end their life means that the suffering only ends with him. Okay. Um, uh, Conversely, when it comes to someone who finally end his or their life, yeah, it's not only him suffering, but also his family, his surroundings. Okay. Let's see if he dies with nothing left as a burden, especially financial burden is something very tragic to leave behind, right? For example, like they die with so many deaths. They die with so many uncountable, how to say, unbearable responsibilities to behold. What about the families? What about the friends? So I guess someone who talk about society is something that need to be seriously taken into account, so that not only can we increase like the range of awareness spread in our society, because mental health is a very crucial these days, but also we can recover the mentality to stay strong in whatever the problems we have in our life. I think that's my comment. Thank you, Mr. Rida.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Suni. That's a completely interesting point of view thing that we always discuss about it to find out what is the best way to phrase about it. Okay, thank you. Next, Miss Ayu Puspita, maybe you can give your point of view again about it.
Okay, my answer is I think it's a myth because when people said something that like they want to kill themselves is actually a sign that they're not okay, and it is something that we should be grateful that someone wants to talk about it. I said it's a myth, but it doesn't mean I'm not agreeing with what Salvi Wilder said. Actually, it's true when lots of people with mental issues are not willing to talk about their feelings, and they decide to keep it to themselves, and suicide is the answer. And but people who talk about suicide won't actually do it. I think it's a myth because maybe it's a myth. Maybe it would be a fact if people talk about it and they found someone who prevent them to do it. Maybe I would say it's a fact, but I think when people talk about suicide, we should not underestimate it. And as
Yeah.
I would say myself, as someone who deal with people who attempts to do suicide, and when they talk about it, I'm really glad that they want to talk about it because when they silenced about it, it would be a disaster for us because we're the one who's gonna feel the guilt, and I would say that it kind of affects us also. So yeah, my thought is that people who talk about suicide won't actually do it is a myth because people who talk about their feelings, and especially when they want to kill themselves, it is something that should not be underestimated, but something that we should embrace, and we should embrace their feelings, validate their feelings, so they won't feel alone. Just like Wildan said that almost 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 all people that have suicide attempts is people who don't have someone to talk to. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ayu. It is maybe good perception, I think, because people who talks about suicide won't actually do it can be a fact or can be a myth. Depends on the someone that he talk with, like the respond their environment. Like if the environment, social environment, respond by carefully, like please, what's that? Give good supporting for someone who talk about it. Of course, someone who talk will not do it, yeah. But sometimes, if the response that we given to these people who talk about suicide, we give bad response, like underestimate, like Miss Ayu said. Of course, it will be, yeah, like that maybe. Okay, Miss Vera, please, do you have same point of view, or maybe do you have a different point of view about it?
I think like what you just said, like it's in between. For the statement, like people who talk about suicide won't actually do it. I think the one who really done, who has done suicide, they this is like in my perspective, they actually said it, but in implicit way. So people will not really notice that they talking about some things like lead to suicide, and it's more like they have a thought about that and they say that, but it's not directly say that I want to end my life or something like that. It's more like a signal, give people a signal about from their words. I think it's more like that.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Vera. Yeah, we should understand it about. We should understand well about it, so we can give the best response when someone talk to us about suicide. It means their condition is not really normal. It's not in normal condition. I think they have a problem. They have a big pressure in their mind. That's why we should give a best response, like Miss Ayu said, like that. Okay. Maybe we need to move on to the next slide. I really like this discussion because yeah, it's really interesting. Okay. Maybe I need to call
I think
Mr.
Hamis,
Dedi Mustari.
I will have my mic given to Hamis as he's very eager to speak in this
Okay, okay.
momentum. So I would like to give it to Hamis first.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Please,
Mr.
Miss
Indra.
Hamis. Miss Hamis, are you with us? Hello.
Hello, Mister.
Yeah.
I
Mr.
wanted
Hamis.
I wanted to come. I wanted talking about
Yeah, please.
before before this topic.
Before this slide.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I couldn't talking
This one?
about. Yes.
Okay, okay. Please, Miss Hamis. Mr. Hamis.
Wait. In my opinion, that people who die by suicide have often told someone that they don't feel life is worth living or that they have no future. Some may have actually said they want to die. It's possible that someone might talk about suicide as a way of getting attention, in the sense of calling out of her for help. It's important to always take someone seriously if they talk about feeling suicidal. Helping them get support they need could save their life. It means a choice effect.
Okay. That's interesting perspective. I think the sentence that I get is suicide is the only way to get attention from their social environment. That is very tragic, I think, because we know people is social, what's that, social creature. That we need,
Exactly.
it's not, we cannot live alone. We need others people, and we need also get attention from our social environment. That's why it is interesting from Mr. Hamis said, like the only way to get the intention just by doing suicide. That's very tragic. Thank you, Mr. Hamis. Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot, sir.
Okay. Next, suicides only happen in low income or troubled families. Maybe Mr. Dedi Mustari?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Indra. Why are you laughing, Mr. Ross? All right, so the notions that suicides exclusively occur in low-income families and are solely linked to family issues, I strongly believe is a myth. Suicide is a complex and multifaceted issue influenced by a wide range of factors. I suppose I believe that one of those are like including the individual itself, social, economic, absolutely, and environmental elements. So if it's only solely because that is coming from family issues or those people who are coming from the low income family, then it's just a part of the the factors that contribute to the suicide reasonings. So the idea that is restricted to any particular socioeconomic group or solely related to family problems, for me, does not align with the comprehensive understanding of suicide itself based on research and empirical evidence that I believe I have read. Yeah, I forgot the research, but I do believe that what I've read so far was saying that it's not fact. So it's not factual for me in my point of view. So suicidal tendencies and behavior, I believe, can be found in in every type of individual, from socioeconomic backgrounds, from various socioeconomic backgrounds. So if you're just from lower income family, or if you're from those rich, wealthy, unpredictable, and unreachable families, like even when like those what's that called, like crazy rich family, or it doesn't matter where you're from, or doesn't matter what family you're from, your socioeconomic backgrounds, including whether or not you're coming from affluent families or not, suicide or mental issue is always like common for those people, for every individual. A lot of people forget that mental issue is as easy to suffer as easy as the flu itself for people. People just focus on more physical, diseases or illness compared to the mental illness, like, the effect of this mental issue, which is suicide. For me, like mental health issues like abuse, life stressors, traumatic experiences, social isolation, social prejudice, and personal factors, all of those contribute to the risk of suicide. So it's not solely because of the socioeconomic background or family, influency. So family issues can be a part of this, your question, but they're not the exclusive or the defining cause for the suicide only. So, yeah, of course, we require a nuanced and comprehensive approach that need to be taken and shared to other people to notice that it's not just coming from this. So a lot of people think that just because you're poor, it means that you're suicidal. Well, actually, I'm poor and I'm suicidal, but it doesn't prove anything. You look at the host. He's rich, crazy rich from whatever place he's from. But, we are both suicidal partners. Sometimes we both thinking how to kill ourselves. Sometimes we think that, oh, let's just drink, more soda and more, sugar so that we will die happily. Sometimes we think of it. But it's not coming from my family. Exactly, Sabi, exactly. Sometimes I want to go to other countries just to kill myself sometimes, how hard, devastating it is. But it's not coming because of my background of family. And I don't say it out aloud because I'm depressed. This is my depression coming out, actually. But I have to say, my own belief, my own knowledge right now in my head, right, that I consider right now, that I believe is a me. It's not solely coming from one single factor only, which is the socioeconomic background like this or family affluency. I believe there are more factors, Mr. Indra, to be the reason why Mr. Haas is very suicidal. And yeah, that's coming from me and Mr. Haas, the surviving, examples that people can see that how suicidal we are, but we're survival. We are alive until now. Not sure about tomorrow, but yeah, we're happy right now. So much fun about now. No, okay, Sophie and Galita will talk. So because I'm talking too much, so I would like to give it back to the moderator, Mr. Indra. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Daddy. That is interesting, I think. There is no specific correlation from low-income and troubled families that influencing the suicide case, because there are multifaceted determinants. I think it's not as simple as like that. Okay, Miss Sopianan, please.
It's always nice for having Mr. Deddy Mustari here. Thank you for coming, sir.
I believe that my name is Demas.
Ah, okay.
And Mucius wants to talk. Oh my God. Can you skip it until Ekalita talk and Sophie talk? You can actually move to the other slide.
Okay. So I think I totally disagree with the slide because as we can see from Mr. Demos perspective before, I don't need to repeat it anymore. And we can see everywhere in TV, like newspaper and everywhere, like there are billionaires who also do suicide. And I think one of the causes that that makes someone who have this kind of thought because they're stuck, like they don't know how to out from this situation or how to solve the problems. So we're stuck, we got overwhelmed, and the idea of the death, that we don't have to do anything, because that's true, just being alive, it's such a survival. I mean, shout out to all people who are alive right now because that's hard to be alive. Even me, I also have this kind of thoughts like a few years ago when back in coronavirus, but I don't. Well, when I did believe that the world is gonna be ending, I don't know, maybe people laughing at me, but at that time I did believe that, oh shit, I haven't married yet, I haven't graduated yet, why the world is ending now? That's what I thought. And also I have one friend in the campus, like he's very smart, he's a very like spoiled kid from the parents are both rich, but there is one day that, and he's very talkative, so he's a socialized person, he has so many friends and we love him. But there's one day that he said to me that if I die tomorrow, please don't gossip don't gossiping about me, please just talk good things about me, okay? And I laugh because I think he was joking, he's not serious. But after a week later, he's completely disappeared for 3 months. His life, by the way, right now. But 3 months in, he's just disappeared, not going to campus, not, we can find him anywhere. We don't know his house because he's such a private person. So when he's come back and I asked him what happened, what, are you sick or something? And he just said like, I think I think I just did some suicide things, but it didn't work. That's why he said to me. So that's crazy because it why, Mr. Indra, you laugh? Don't joke.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Fun
I'm
fact,
also.
he started laughing since I
Oh, okay. So I think it's a very serious problem, and we can there is no like a single factor that, oh, this is gonna be the reason why someone doing it, and this is gonna be the background of people who doing it. That's just not, it's just like very complex when we talk about the reason behind it, especially the background of social status for the one who doing it. I think that's it, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. The one that the most interesting for me, like when someone wants to do suicide, but finally they don't do it, and finally they can say to their friend or they can say to their family, that is the good achievement. I think that's why we need to appreciate about that. Yeah. And when someone talk about it, don't talk about their previous problem that make him remember about their problem again. That's why we need to make them maybe more laugh, yeah, by giving jokes like that. That's Miss Sofiana. Okay, next, Miss Ekalita.
Yeah. I think the suicides is not only because you are in the from the low income or troubled families, but yes, the low income and troubled families can be the motivated people to to push people, yeah, to push people to do something like that, because the under pressure maybe, yeah, because yeah, the basic line in the suicide motive is the person have some under pressure that they cannot burden anymore, that the feeling of the person is like that, so they like desperate. But about the motivation, it's mostly it's like a depth. The depth is very very big burden, right? We do you have read about the director that have a lot of debts, and he commits suicide because he cannot solve the problem of the company and also the debts mostly, and then he suicide, yeah. And also the last case is about uh the student from Semarang, ya, and she is suicide herself because she lost the money and have a debt in the pinjols and didn't want to bother her mother, right? And then we can see that the debt is the most problem. And you if you see the debt, it's also like the economic pressure, right? Because after the COVID, there is a lot of PHK atau apa sih? Cut off employment, yeah, jobless, and then people have to yeah, maybe they have debts like to the pinjols, etc., and maybe they also feel hopeless for the future, so they having a mental health like depression and etc. So yeah, I think also people can be like in the celebrities, they don't have any problem in economics, right? But they have problem with the maybe drugs or issues in their life, like maybe like bullying, something like that, or they cannot stand about the pressure, like the comedian that very funny, yeah, the famous one, and no one expected that he gets suicide because people thought that he always happy, right? And
Yeah,
funny, but yeah, but in behind that he had a lot of pressure in himself. So I think, yeah, if the person is like having mental issue because of anything, is the economics or because of the because of themselves, yeah, I agree that they have to be isolated and to be protected first, yeah, because I think they cannot think, right? Mostly the family have to be more understand about them, and maybe they have to be like, if they cannot control their thought, maybe they should like give some medicine, right, to calm themselves. And then because maybe they can have the such suicide, maybe their condition is messed up, yeah, like they cannot they have like maybe sleeping troubles or eating disorders or etc. I don't know about the real condition, but mostly maybe their thought is very messed up, so they have to be calm. Because I think mostly if people is like depression or something that they want to suicide, the family is treating them like a normal people, right? It should be they took it to the psychiatry, right? And then give some medicine and give treatment for them so they can normalize their thought again, and then they can have a clear mind about the problem that they thought it cannot be solved, right? If like a debt, maybe the family can helping them to um contact the party, right? And that's why for the economic affairs, I think we cannot too strict, yeah. Mostly if they cannot burden it, maybe you have to give them some reasonable solution, something like that, yeah. And if it's like a drugs, you have to deliver them to the rehabilitation, right? You didn't let them always consume the drugs, and you know that the drugs makes them want to kill themselves. Then you as a family have to deliver your members to the rehabilitation, something like that. If they get bullied or get pressure, you have to protect them from the environment that can make them their condition worse, right? It's my opinion, like.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kalita. That's interesting because in our surrounding environment, like there are viral news about the problem of pinjol,
Yeah.
that trigger to some case like criminal or suicide, murder, and others. Yeah, thank you very much. Next, Mr. Moonshine, please give your point of view, Mr.
All right. I think it's a myth because what kill it's not that kill low income family or low income person, but it's actually the one that kill low income family or person is the rich. No, just kidding. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. So actually, it depends on where the situation happened. So when we talk about Indonesia, the suicide things actually happen a lot in low income or troubled family. Yeah, we can say that troubled family is always related with relationship between family member, and also about economy. But when we talk about other part of the economic situation, relationship situation, mental health issue, etc., etc. But yeah, maybe there are some cases in rich family, but it's like seldom or just a few of the cases that happen in the rich, because the rich in Indonesia actually they the one who kill the poor, right? Not because they're not doing suicide when they are stressed or they're crazy, but they kill someone who has less power than themselves. Yeah, so it's different actually. So yeah, my answer is the fact if we talk about Indonesia, but me if we talk about general, as included war in there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Musan. Yeah, you give a different perspective, like from different country. It's not only in Indonesia, but it becomes a global issue. I think it's not only Indonesia that face this problem, but also another country like in Europe and others. Thank you very much. Mr. Ku, could you give your opinion or your point of view about that?
Right. Sorry. Am I audible, sir? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Suicide on low income or trouble families. I couldn't agree more both. Firstly, let me talk about the troubled families where I got from my friends' family with respect to oppressed her children to be civil servants. And nowadays my friend got oppressed because of what the family oppressed. So she easily got tantrum because of that. By means of elaborating these cases, sometimes the parents think that they give the best care, the best guidance to the children. But is it relevant for the children if the parents do not follow what is relevant and irrelevant for the children's guidance? For instance, to be self-sufficient or to get a stable income is a must for some people. But do they still have idealism to express everything? That's my first opinion. And then for the low income, I couldn't agree more what the previous speaker said, that why? Because in my society they have a low income and not suicide. When we elaborate, when we try to search the meaning of game online, game means gambling. When we check, because the random stuff that's currently I search, what does it mean of game? They will pick up the small diction to, I'll say, to be adaptable in the low income society. So they don't see that online gambling, but game online with the small dictions. That's why it affects to society nowadays. And then in low income discussion or low income topics, they will tend to prosperity will stand, how to say, so the prosperity will stand above rather than another thing or another stuff. That's why what I can say in this case is it needs awareness. What should be prioritized maybe for a fundamental thing is education. Even though education can be a lot of variables, and they can accrue their added value by way of getting formal education, non-formal education, informal educations. Seems like what we are doing nowadays. Even though this platform is not formal education, but we can still share our perspective toward in this room. Furthermore, what I see in my class sometimes in some spaces, when they attend to the meeting or when they attend to the event, they do not prioritize beyond, how to say, getting viral or applauding in their feeds in order to be exist. But yeah, that's happened in our society nowadays. We do not elaborate which one should be prioritized or not. Maybe what I can elaborate. Thank you very much, Mr. and Mr. Shun.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ku, for the first perspective. I think we need to analyze more about the specific family trouble like that. Maybe it's not always low income correlates with suicide case. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, people who attempt suicide are weak or selfish. Is that myth or fact? What do you think about that? Mr. Suni, please.
Of course, it's the black. Otherwise, they won't be easily thinking about ending his life or their life, I suppose. And selfish, of course, because like they will like reluctant to see what kind of futures will be falling to the lives of others, especially those who always like support them the most, their families, their lovers, their parents. I believe that it's a very crucial to highlight that attempting to suicide is, I know it is like you show to the world that you've been like being stressed over and over, you got tired mentally and physically, you got abused, but you try to sustain your sane mentality until to the point that it is pointless to keep hoping, right? But again, it's uh, being weak and strong. I believe like it's always like going reverse in one situations to others, means that when we realize ourselves as a weak person, means that there will be situations that we can change ourselves to become even braver. So yeah, I think this is the fact. Thank you, Mr. Ida.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sunil. Mr. Sensei, that is the fact, because someone who did suicide, like they cannot face the future of life, like always afraid of about future like this. Yeah. Thank you very much. Next, Miss Ekalita.
I have read about the children, yeah, and he suicide because of the uang jajan tuh apa sih uang jajan? Uang jajan bahasa Inggrisnya. Yeah, for uang jajan, something like that.
Money
Pocket
pocket.
money.
Pocket money, yeah. I think it's a children, right? But the thought of the suicider is mostly the same, yeah. They thought they have some big problem that they cannot solve. It's the mostly that they feel. Maybe they didn't feel that they are weak or selfish in their perception. It's in the outer, of course. But in the suicider itself, they cannot process their thought and cannot process their own emotion also. So it's like the road, and then it's like a stuck in their mind. It's like that. So they cannot see other ways. Not if we are in the health condition, mostly our mental is stabilized or didn't have any problem, you can have like alternatives in your mind, right? And then you also have hope, and you don't feel like desperate. So for some people, they thought it's a challenging because their mental health is normal, and they didn't have the mindset of the suicider. But suicider is not like that. The suicider is, they only knew that it's like the end of the world, and you cannot see other else, ways, yeah, something like that. So like the children, they thought he thought that the huge problem of his is the pocket money. And when he asking her parent, and the parent didn't give it, and he feels that his problem is like unsolved. Yeah, he cannot think that it's not the only way that he should do, right? Maybe he can ask the bekal apa sih bahasa Inggrisnya ya, something like that, or he can there is alternatives, right? So maybe he have to talk about the problem with the parent, and process there is the communicating process why the parent cannot give him the pocket money, etc., etc., so he can process the thing is more reasonable for him, right? Yeah, and in the suicider, it's that I don't know, can we process their thought or not? Yeah, because like the comedian that suicide, he have the intelligence, right? And he has also have the emotional qualities, continent, yeah, something like that. So he's supposed not to kill himself, right? But maybe because he has no space or cannot process the thought, and he thought that the only way to make him out from the condition. In normal condition, should give him take a break of our thought, right? So have to process the thought and hide emotion deeper, right? Why he can have a conclusion like that? Maybe he just want to retire from his profession, right? Or maybe he didn't enjoy anymore about the social life, and maybe he just want to be with his family, or didn't want to be in the middle of people that didn't make him comfort, but he cannot deliver that. Yeah, maybe he afraid of a lot of things. So I think in the suicider thought, it like unsolved problems. Yeah, but if I saw the film of the suicider also, if we we want to communicating with them, it's also so hard, mostly if they want to jump into the buildings, yeah, because maybe they have made up their mind. But I didn't know if they have any chance to talk about their intention to others. Can we process their thought? Yeah, if we can process their thought, and the suicide, the person also can process their mind, yeah, maybe they will change their mind. Yeah, mostly if they think they have some positive thought that, yeah, the problem is can be solved. Yeah, but maybe they haven't figured out the solution yet, right? But if they can have something like bukan assuming apa ya, they have something like they can figure out how to solve the problem, maybe they will cancel. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ekalita. You should underline about the statement that someone sometimes cannot enjoy their life, and the second one is sometimes someone cannot solve their problem. Okay, Mr. Demus.
In their perspective, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Demus.
Yes. The number you're calling is not active or out of the area. Please try to call again. Sorry, I tried to be EI, but I think I sound like a little bit like someone who's very old and wants to die. All right. For me, it's not accurate or fair to label people who attempt suicide as weak or selfish, because as I mentioned earlier, that suicide is deeply such a complex issue, often rooted in a very profound emotional pain, mental health challenges, and what I feel like everyone suffers, which is a sense of hopelessness. So when we make such like judgments oversimplifies that, you know, this type of people who do suicide, it seems like we oversimplify the struggles that those people or those individual facing. It seems like it's too easy for us, like, but as whoever said, you know, earlier, that the weight of our own mental issues ranging from each individual. We couldn't say that what I suffer right now is probably lighter for you, or it's something heavier for other people. That's the reason why we're still, you know, we still survive. But for some people, it could be deeply different, you know, detrimental to themselves. So it's hard to basically tell them that they're weak, because as you know, that even the strength itself has a range. You cannot say that there is a range of telling that somebody is actually strong or not. That's the reason why we have a standard for that. For me, suicidal individuals, you know, maybe dealing with severe mental health disorders, where what I consider that when you are in a very depressed condition, one thing that makes people think that suicide is such an option, or the last option, when they lost the sense of rationalism. They couldn't even think which one was right, which one is right, which one is wrong. What is on their head is that they just want to end everything. Sometimes we actually reach that age where we think that, oh, it's actually already out of my control, out of my capability of actually weighed out those issues that we have. But for some people, they don't have an access to basically tell their issues, or contributing the factors of the number of people who do commit suicide are increasing day by day. Especially, it could be from their beliefs, it could be from their social surrounding that influence how they behave. The reason why in South Korea, the numbers of people who do suicide is high is because how the social construction, the belief from their social construction is telling them how they can actually revive from in the other life after committing suicide. So there's a lot of factor telling that how basically people who commit suicide is weak or not. Sometimes they're actually very strong in their own ways. They're so much strong until they couldn't even hold it anymore. That it just pain that they suffer. They already lost a sense of rationalism that makes them think that I want to end everything. This is the notion coming from the host that I remember that he told me that. So I think, Mr. Indra, for me, I think it's crucial to approach this topic with empathy, understanding, and non-judgmental attitude, as I believe Mr. Indra brings this topic, because a lot of people are still very judgmental with the people who do suicide.
Yeah,
And this tagline coming out, right? Where they think, oh, you're actually lack of religion or so on and so forth, which I believe that it's not about just that. I know someone who's basically very religious, but they ended up their life because it's not solely a single factor coming from religion. So addressing the root causes of suicide, providing mental health support, and fostering open discussion like what Mr. Indra did and the OTA did is basically it helped the stigmatization of what people thought about suicide. So thank you so much for bringing this topic, Mr. Indra, because I believe this is the platform where the host can basically tell his own feelings regarding suicide. So yeah, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Demus. So once again, we need to know that suicide is not a simple case, but it is a complex case that a lot of determinant of factors that influence about it. Okay, maybe we need to move on the next slide. Okay, discussing suicide openly and empathetically can be a crucial step in connecting individual to help and support. Okay, I need to call the participant, Mr. Yudisha. Are you with us? Mr. Yudisha? Okay. Maybe Miss Rohani Simanjunta. Could you hear my voice, Miss Rohani?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you better. Yeah, I can hear
Could
better.
you give your point of view about it? About this?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Discussing suicide openly and empathetically can be a crucial step in connecting individual to help and support. What do you think about that?
Discussing suicide openly and empathetically can be a crucial step. Yeah, to help and support. Yeah, I think I'm agree. Yeah, because some people when they feel the life is so hard to them, uh, uh, usually they live like hidden they like life alone. Yeah, avoid from their environment, their friend, their friend, their family. So I think to discuss about suicide openly it's it's important. Yeah. To socialize the way how to solve the problem. So no need to decide for suicide. Yeah. So I think I agree with the statement that we can discuss about it openly. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Rani Simanjunta. Maybe I need to ask the idea from Mr. Fabrian, maybe? Mr. Fabrian? Hello, are you with us? Okay. It is interesting. It is debatable statement, I think. Okay. Mr. Fabian, could you please give your point of view about that?
Okay. Discussing suicide openly and empathetically can be crucial step in connecting individuals to help and support. Waduh, all right. The question. Can be crucial step in connecting individuals to help and support. Maybe I don't know. I'm not really sure, but I go with fact. I go with because I think not only suicide, discussing about suicide openly, maybe discussing a lot of things related to the feeling for our stress release. I believe it's one of the steps in connecting individuals to help and support. When it comes to the previous speaker, Mr. Demus, as usual, talk about mental health. Whenever you are ready, you are brave and open up your mind and talk to others related to your condition right now and then you're feeling right now. Well, basically, it's your very first step to finally gain the help and support from others. Maybe we have already found the way to handle that, but to handle that we need only for the validations and someone to listen, things like that. But yeah, sometimes we get another perspective whenever we do that, and then people can give another insight. Yeah, people can give insights, and maybe it will be useful for us. I think that's Mr. Indra.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Fabian. So, yeah, once again, we need to show to someone who has a problem that they are not live alone, and there are a lot of people who still care about them. Yeah, who still care, who still give empathy about them to them, and we need to help them to find the solution or to solve their problem like that. Okay, next. Suicidal individuals want to die. What do you think about that, guys? Is there anyone who wants to give their perspective or their point of view?
Can you elaborate what
Okay,
does suicide mean?
please.
No, I was asking, sir. Can you elaborate what do you mean by suicidal individuals want to?
Okay. It means like someone who wants to do suicide. Actually, they really wants or they really have the intention to die. Like they have no hope to life anymore, like that, or they just get a pressure, and finally there is no other choices rather than want to die like that. Miss Ekalita, please.
Yeah, if we refer to the like euthanasia cases, yeah. Do you heard about euthanasia cases that people don't want to end up their self because they have heart disease, something like that. Yeah, the suicidal individuals want to die because they want to end up anything that comes to them. Yeah, something like that. So they didn't want, sometimes they didn't want solution. They just want the things is stop, something like that. That's the hard thing about the suicide, that hard to be processed, because why is in the religion always said that it is the sin that cannot be forgive, because if it's not like sins that not be forgive, I think the half of the human will be suicide themselves, because they thought that if you didn't end it anything as soon as possible, you will having the condition again and again and again repeatedly. And can you imagine that if you understand that the euthanasia person, and why the some doctors sometimes they cannot they cannot they cannot maksudnya they follow the willingness, because in the human side it's very hard, right? If we always give them solution as you expected, like how can you stop their pain, something like that. So if there is some movie, yeah, it's very good movie. It's like it's a euthanasia theme. So the person is have accident, and then after that he have paralyzed, yeah, of all his body, and his future is like ruined, right? And his fiance also with his best friend. And I suspicious that his accident is causes by his best friend, because they having affair before he is have the accident. It's my opinion, but I didn't know the real scripts, yeah. But when the parent want to he continue his life, and also the nannies that and he also fall in love with the nannies, yeah, try to motivated him to continue his life. But in the end, the parents and the nanny is like supported him to doing the euthanasia, because there is no hope for him to continue his life like before, because he is paralyzed, and there is no anything that you can do for him to change his life. Although his parents is like rich, but he cannot do anything, and his life is every day is like hell, because he cannot control his emotion, and he cannot continue his life like before, and it's very very miserable. And in the end, the parent give what he want, yeah, and then he want to the girl is continue her life, because he feel that he will be represented to the girl spirit, yeah, about for the life, yeah. So I think about suicidal, maybe they have, yeah, the only solution that they have to stick to the religion, yeah, because the religion also always give something that bigger, yeah, in what they are dealing every day. Because if you don't have a bigger hopes like after death, maybe you didn't want to sustain your life, because it's very miserable, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kalita. So, someone who wants to do suicide, sometimes is not only want to die, but because there is no home, there is no another choice, there is no another
Yeah,
way to solve their problem. That's why
it's
there is
tricky.
no choice except
Die.
doing suicide like that. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you,
right.
Mr. Kalita. Okay, the next statement is suicide is a purely impulsive action. What do you think about that? We're talking about impulsive action. So, anyone here who wants to give your point of view, maybe?
Impulsive mean that suddenly or what, yeah?
Yeah. Without considering
Without
how,
considering, yeah.
like that, just
Yeah.
suddenly.
Yeah, some people maybe uh, they do the suicide by plane, yeah, by their plane. But maybe some of them also a purely impulsive act. So when someone feeling like no hope, no friend, no one can understand them, they choose to terminate their life by suicide. And I think sometimes they make a plan, yeah, like the latest news about a lady, you read the I saw in Instagram, lady suicide by jumping from 20th floor,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah.
she wrote a small in the small paper uh, for for her mom, I think she already make a plan to do it. So
Yeah,
they prepare a letter, and I think also not only her, yeah, I think a lot of story of cases doing the same way, write to someone, and then sometime jump from the building and tie her neck, their neck. I think some people doing to suicide by plan, not impulsive act. That's my opinion. Back to
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Rani. So, if we analyze from the several case relating about the suicide case, exactly. Some of the case describe that the someone who did suicide sometime left the letter, left the message in their Instagram, in the social media, maybe just by writing a paper in a paper like that. So it is a thing well planned. Yeah, it's not sometimes it's not impulsive act, but maybe there is also someone who did it by impulsive acts or suddenly maybe. Okay, this one is the choices. Which one has the higher probability of suicide? Man or woman, single, married, or divorced, or spirit, below 65 or above 65? And the last choices is educated or non-educated. What do you think about that? Mr. Hoss, Mr. Suni. Hey, sorry, Mr. Demus. Okay, please.
Thank you. But if you want to let the host speaking first, that's okay. Because
Please
yeah, he
continue.
should talk
Mr.
about
Demus.
the age part. Okay. According to my knowledge, that very small, yeah, very such a really small. That some of this part of percentage that according to gender that men is basically having the higher probability of committing suicide. I'm not saying that women is not actually suffering mental issues. Well, all of the people, every individual is suffering mental issue regardless their gender. But why men is the most sophisticated gender that can suffer the high probability of suicide is because we are very hard to actually express our emotion compared to women who is who has the coping mechanism of getting out their emotions. That's the reason why they can cry a lot easily, which is actually a mental coping mechanisms for people who get stressed and so on and so far. But for men who basically squeezed by the social prejudice, if we cry or if we say out aloud our emotions or our depression, is weak. Not to echo by the fact that most men are basically, silent towards their emotion to other people. They rarely speak out about how they think inside of their head. If you see it from that perspective, and actually in accordance of their data, men committed suicide is higher than women because they don't have coping mechanism with the issue they suffered. They think that they can handle it, but at the end of the day, what they already suffered has emerged to be severe. I will talk a little bit again about the impulsive act in the previous slide before that. Impulsive act is not necessarily coming out of the act that we just wants to do it instantly, but it's the manifestation of the outcome from the prolonged and continuous stress that we have that becomes the impulsive. So whether or not of this, it's very relevant that when men, it's hard to voice out what's inside their head, it manifests the effect of stressors long to go, which contribute to the suicide. Well, actually, there is a number of the data that compiled by, I don't know, whoever the researcher did, or I think it's the American Association of Psychology, that the male portion of getting suicide or committing suicide is higher than the women. Luckily, that the tears that coming out of women helps them to survive, because I do believe that women suffer a lot as well with their issues regarding a lot of prejudice, unfair stigmatization that women is supposed to be like in the kitchen, a lot of things that makes women actually vulnerable, but they got power of saying it out loud that makes them survival. So that's from the gender perspective. How about the relationship status? Should I talk about this as well?
Okay.
Oh, sure. Okay, because I'm a divorced one. I'm just kidding. I don't, I haven't gotten married yet. For me, the highest possibility of committing suicide coming from the married one. Why? This is my logic. It's not coming from any sources, because I haven't read anything about this relationship status towards the probability of suicide. For me, one head already contributes to higher mental issue, and then you just imagine that when they have two heads and a single relationship, thinking about the same issues, suffering the same problems, thinking that they can solve it together, for me, is the contribution of getting that. But I think that some of people think that as well, that when you're married, then your problem become 50-50. 50 from your husband, 50 from your wife. But as you know, marriage, couples always suffer from different problems compared to the single one, like the host, or the divorced one, like Mr. Ku. But everything has their own problem, regardless their relationship status. But I believe in my own very irrelevant logic. I think married one will suffer the most, or they have the high probability of getting suicide, because they have two heads to think of the problems, and some.
Hello, Mr. Ramos. You got a problem about the connection, maybe?
I guess so. I cannot hear any from him.
Okay, maybe we need to invite our new participant, Miss Henny, maybe, to join this discussion. What do you think about which one has the higher probability of suicide?
I'm sorry, I lose my connection.
Okay.
Where was I?
Talking about the relationship status.
Huh? I already talked until age.
You lost the connection, maybe.
What was the last one that I mentioned regarding the relationship status?
Yeah. Relating about the relationship status.
Did I already mention about Ku, who is the divorced one, Haas, who is the single one?
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
You said that the married status is the most.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding. No, I can move to the age. I think that because of the generation is basically moving forward with the possibility of committing suicide, I think below 65 will have the higher probability of getting suicide. Why? Because the generation contributes as well to the outcome of knowing that suicide, or the propaganda. What is the English of propaganda? Is it a propaganda? I'm not sure. Please correct me, Mr. Kuen, Fabrian, and the host. I think it's the propaganda coming from the globalization that contributes to the younger generation, which is below 65. That suicide is the the solution for every single thing when you are actually reaching the end of your logics. So I think, yeah, below 65 will be the will have the high probability of suicide. Then for education, it's kind of hard. Educated or not educated. As far as I'm concerned, educated will have the higher possibility. Not because they're stupid, but because the more they know, the higher pressure they get. I don't know. The more I learn, I think my head becomes so heavy that I almost feel like I want to put my brains out of my head. And I think there's a statement saying that the less you know, the happier you are.
Yeah. I agree about that.
I think that, yeah, that kind of relates with how you are being educated and non-educated. When you feel like you're not really exposed to a lot of information that contributes to that higher probability of getting pressure, which contribute to the mental issue, and then afterwards getting the, end of your rationalism, which is so exciting. I think, yeah, the educated person has the higher possibility. Look at Fabrian, Haas, and Koo. Yeah, well, we are the epitome of this. So yeah, that's all I want to say about it. So I have no words again. Yeah, for me, men married below 65, educated.
Statement, which one has the higher probability of suicide?
Place. So yeah, I would like to explain about the gender, relationship status, age, and education status, and the last one is about our job. I guess that Mr. Demos has already explained about gender, relationship, and age, but I just want to add a bit about gender. Here, there is no contribution or significant correlation, yeah, between men and women, whether they like doing suicide or not. It depends on their problem. If they cannot solve, or they cannot they cannot be strong about their problem, sometimes it's hard, it's easy for them to get a suicide, especially when they have no friends to talk, or they try to dealt with the problem by themselves. They have no friends beside them, so it's easily for them to get a suicide because they just keep it inside and they try to control their emotion, but there's no way to go out from their problem. So what I want to, what is that the solution about gender, they have they need a friend. They need a friend here to express their emotion or express their problem to the person that they really believe. But sometimes, especially in our family, in our friends, when they want to share about their problem, they like to mocking, or they like, what is that?
Yeah, that is the
Give
fact.
them pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Distract or give them pressure, more pressure. Yeah, like bullying or something. So it makes them to what is it, are easily to do suicide. Yeah. So there is no significant correlations between men and women. It depends on how strong they are to control or to deal with with the problems. Yeah. And the second about relationship status, I guess that single, more divorced, separate, or married. Yeah, as we know in Indonesia, mostly it's from sorry to say married couple where they have affair with someone or some things. Yeah, as we conclude that they divorce couple, sometimes they are stressed. They are stressed and easily to do that. Yeah, because mostly when they try to get married, they fall in love at the first sight, or they are not mature enough to get married and
Yeah.
and with women, as we know that when they get married or when they have a baby, for me, women, they have kind of mental issues if the husband don't accompany her, especially about baby blues or stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby blues or stress, it makes them easily to get or what is that, suicide easily. And about single, yeah, it happens too. Yeah, like my status, because I'm single and jomblo.
Mr. Host is
Sometimes
smiling right now, Mr. Host.
we feel depressed too. We feel depressed too because of our environment, because of our family, us, or maybe our neighbor. When will you get married? And even you have a job, yeah, we can get a stress too because of their words, because of their sentence. It can make a pressure for us. But I hope that I don't want to do suicide, yeah, because of that words. I guess
Just because
it's
that
not their
question,
business,
yeah.
my problem, yeah. Yeah, it's not a big deal for me, yeah. Especially married and divorced, yeah. It sometimes happen in Indonesia.
Okay. Any else, Miss Henny? What do you think about the age, education status? Hello? Okay, maybe she gets a problem with the connection. Okay, because the limit of time right now, 10 p.m. Mr. Host, maybe we need to conclude our discussion.
Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess that my
The connection.
internet issues, yeah. Okay. What is that? Age, yeah, age.
Age,
I would like to
education status.
tell about age. There is no significance too about the age, because I don't want to blame that whether we are coming from 80 or 90 or 2000, yeah, born, yeah, it doesn't make us, yeah, to be strong. But it's if you have a problem, it makes us to be mature, or to be strong. If you have problem, if you can deal with that problem, so yeah, just to be strong. Yeah, just to be strong. If you have a problem, try to control, try to share. Yeah, don't keep it by yourself. Yeah, you have a friend beside you and you have a family, just try to share. Yeah. And education status, yeah, I guess that I choose educated, non-educated. I guess that educated, mostly they like doing suicide because they have a pressure, especially from their lecturers, from their family, especially in collegian, because they have to finish their what is that, their major soon. So there are some pressure in their life. If they are not strong enough to do that, so sometimes they like doing suicide. And the last one is about workplace. There are some pressures too from our boss and related to our job, yeah, and also related to our salary. Sometimes we come from a sandwich generation that we have to handle our family, our life, yeah. And yeah, sometimes they get stressed because of the boss, because of the family. because they have to handle their family from sandwich generation. Yeah, there are some factors. Yeah, I guess that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Henny. That's a really interesting perspective, I think. There's also additional choices like workplace or the environment. And the last, we need to conclude, or we need to make the last conclusion about our discussion tonight, in this evening, in this occasion. I will give this opportunity for the Mr. Host because your gender, your relationship, your age, your educational status has the higher probability of suicide, like Mr. Mr.
True.
Mr. Rumai said like that. Please,
True.
Mr. Host.
Okay, thank you so much. I was totally overwhelmed with what has been stated before because, like, yeah, regardless of the type of the parameters, become the determinants of whether or not someone having a high likelihood to suicide or ending their life. I suppose, yeah, to tell you the truth, guys, in fact, we have so many captivating slides, but because of like everyone's enthusiasm to talk quite a lot, wide and long at the same time about this issue, we miss those parts. Okay, so I can conclude that society is something that is still need to be considered abnormal, and that's why we need to not normalize them, but spreading the awareness so that we can decrease and push down the interest of so many people. Because like when somebody believes that somebody can suicide freely, they will tend to have a, a triggering attitude to just copy that behavior. And that's why we need to be staying aware, eye open to everyone's in our surroundings, because the moment they start talking about suicide, it's the moment that they need us the most. I think that's all for the conclusions that I can derive from our quite long but impactful discussions for almost 2 hours. Thank you so much, guys. But by the way, thank you also to our moderator, Mr. Indra, for his time and his capacity to chair our discussions to become this fantastic. Okay, well, could you please close the share screen, Mr. Indra? Okay. Anyway, guys, for the feedback, I just like to impose you guys and suggest you to decrease when you want to say, you know what, okay, you know what, when you, okay, please, this is impolite, okay, probably in casual way of speaking, this is something that we can use as a fillers, but known as a fillers is a way that indicate our way of speaking is still inefficient. Means that we need to cut our thinking gap by providing more developing ideas and cutting the thinking gap that we have by exploring more our discussions. I think, yeah, practice makes perfect. Yeah. Okay. This practice makes perfect. Okay. So for Mr. Indra, I would like to dedicate this e-certificate. I'm sorry because our organization is like um it's
Thank
a
you very much, Mr.
yeah,
Suni.
non-profit organization. It's NGO as well. So your dedications, your
Thank you
contributions
very much.
tonight, yeah, will be labeled as something that contribute to our motto that education should be free. So your assistance right here totally help us to improve our skills. Thank you so much, Mr. Indra.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. Can I give maybe why maybe in the next future we need to what's that, to do something, the following action, like maybe we need to do some research collaboration, yeah, talking or discussing about the role of education in decreasing the case of suicide. Maybe we
Mm.
can do some what's that literature review or
Mhm.
meta-analysis or bibliometric analysis. That's okay, I think, and we can continue about doing collaboration research. I think about that. Thank you
Very
very much.
nice, very nice suggestions. See, everyone, if any of you have an interest to do joint research or collaborative research, Mr. Indra is open. You just can contact him through Instagram as well. Okay, it will be splendid if you
Sure.
got like financial assistance. What else, Mr. Dumus? Okay, please, this is closing. This is closer, okay?
No, I just want to say that I want to join.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Indra, I'd like to take a picture right here, okay? On 3,
Okay.
2, 1. Okay, I'm going to save this. Okay, everyone, I'd like to invite each and all of you to open the camera so that we can like take a photo sessions together before closing the event. Okay, wow. Okay, look, all these faces behind behind what? Behind the eye. Okay,
Behind the scene.
finally.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a moment. Okay.
I feel less confident right now. I think I'm being suicidal right now.
Okay. Oh my God. Please,
Come
somebody.
on, let's go. After this, the
Okay.
party, after your suicide.
Okay. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's the first suicide style. And the next. Okay. Please give me your suicide pose on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Last but not least. Okay. How you want to be suicide? Okay, so me.
No.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So you want to die like here? You want to suicide like here? Oh my God.
Die in love.
I try to copy Miss Henny because we're all singles.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much. And the last we say, Hell Alta. Yesterday
You said
we say,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
And
you
see
very
you
much.
in the next Alta discussion. See you, everyone. Good
See you.
night.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening.
Thanks.